Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we are looking at the BR-23 Courier. This is an older Courier that was developed for the Star Wars role-playing game. So what we have is we have a Courier that was a durable personnel transport and courier ship that served in the Galactic Republic fleets and militias. After finding a market for the TIE-IN starfighter enormously more profitable due to the Empire's swift move away from transports like the BR-23, Courier partially refitted its large backstock BR-23s with civilian-grade systems and dumped them onto the open market. These inexpensive craft, which were easy to repair, provide to be proved to be a boon for Senior. While most of the Senior's surplus stock found a way into the freighter market, the BR-23 also saw some use in cut-rate shuttle services and employment as personal skiffs. After leaving military service, the BR-23 proved to be a particularly steady craft among courier services as well as small-time shipping agents, and a good number of smugglers as well. In the case of the rebellion, they made it into general policy to acquire these ships whenever they could find them, as they would be easy to reconvert into their original troop transport duties. Now, this was, like I said, originally introduced for the Star Wars role-playing game, I believe by West End Games. This was done for the new recruits and Rebel Guns as an instant adventures ship for that particular adventure. So when we look at this, we have a ship that was, from the Old Republic. It was seen during the Empire. It was a general ship and also used in the Rebel Alliance. So pretty much anyone and everyone would have had it from, like I said, from the Old Republic. You could throw it in there for doing a Clone Wars type scenario. The Empire for some backwater units or whatever. In general, we have a very versatile ship that can be used almost anywhere. Okay, so this is a long-range troop transport. We have a ship that is 20.7 meters long, has a crew of 1 and a gunner of 1. So your pilot is probably also your gunner. Let's see, we can carry up to 40 passengers and about 40 metric tons of cargo. It does have a 2-week consumable supply, has a hyperdrive of ×2 and a hyperdrive backup of 8×12. So not too bad. ×2 being an older ship, kind of a little on the slower side, but if you're just transporting troops to and fro, not a big deal. And remember, when we're talking about consumables and that for 2 weeks, we're really talking about it for 41 people in all, because we have our pilot plus the 40 passengers. Okay, so it does have a nav computer to be able to get it from one place to another, safely calculating all the star charts. Our maneuverability is a 1D. Now, this is just a bare bones basic kind of troop transport, so it really doesn't need a very good maneuverability. Has a space of 5. It's not the fastest ship in the fleet. Atmosphere-wise, looking at the pictures, we do have kind of some stubby wings here that try and help keep it afloat, as well as the engines. It is able to go about 850 kilometers an hour. The hull being a 3D+2, so it is a little bit more durable hull, probably because, if you're setting troops down and you figure that you're going to have a bunch of troops that are banging on things all the time, you might want it a little sturdier than average. People not really paying attention to what they're really doing with a ship. So in that regard, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You're going to want it a little bit more beefed up. Shields being a 1D+2, so they are a little bit on the lower side, but almost about average shields for our standard ships having shields on them. Our sensor packet, though, passively we could scan out to about 1 kilometer. active scan is going to be 2.5 kilometers. Our search is going to be 4 kilometers, and our focus is only going to be about 200 meters. And it only has 2 weapons, or 2 laser cannons for our weapons, and they are on the turret. So really what we're seeing is, I was kind of a little on the wrong side. We are going to have a crew of 1 pilot and 1 gunner. So if you can see, if I'm doing this correctly, we're looking at the ship. We do have 1 turret sitting here on the dorsal, with the 2 laser cannons, fire control of 1D, so more of a basic kind of computer fire control system, and it has a damage of 4D, so pretty much a average damage with 2 laser cannons, not the most overly powered cannons out there. It is an interesting design. We do have, if I can bring this up, and I will try and have this for us as I click away so I can look at it myself. All right, so we do have a layout for the ship that I did find online, and it shows our cockpit in the very front, of course. We have passenger seating and our access to our gun turret here. We do have cargo bay doors in our, or off to the left and right, or port and starboard. In the middle is our standard cargo area. In the back, we have our bathrooms. We have kind of quarters. We have a library area. So this is set up for somebody's personal ship. We have some storage in the back here. They've got it set up as a meditation room, guest quarters. I'm going to guess that this is just going to be one huge bunk area for whoever. In the middle is going to be our cargo area for whatever they're carrying. I mean, whether it's speeder bikes to food rations to whatever, that's what they're going to really have. Now, I don't know who had done this up, but they did a very nice job at this. I would say that this looks like it could very well be pretty close to what a standard design for this would be. So, of course, as always, all credits goes to whoever had done this up. It is an interesting ship to kind of sit here and look at. You know, it's got a lot of possibilities here. There is no price listed as far as this ship goes, so if you find it on a market anywhere, it's to whoever your game master or referee or whatever you want to call them, their discretion as to what they want to sell this for. As it is being an older ship, a little bit on the slower side, you know, maybe you could let it go for 10 to 25,000 credits or so. You know, it's kind of hard to say. Like I said, it is an interesting design. It is a little bit of a bigger ship, but it is also a cargo ship and transport. So it gives a lot of possibilities. Another smaller ship as far as a crew complement goes, which, you know, that's my personal favorite, mainly because, you know, I'm usually running with a small group, and that way I don't have to manage all the other kind of off-scene characters and all that stuff. And if you ever notice a lot of that, that's really like, or what I really prefer. I don't, you know, I've got to manage whatever my group runs into. So when we look at ships like this is great. I don't have to have a lot of extra characters running in the background. I can just worry about whatever we're taking care of for the day, not everything else. And because we do have a small group, I might be one of the kind of side characters that they're going to have just as a tag along to give them a helping hand. But I don't spend any time on my characters. They're just there as a extra helping hand because I'm doing everything else. And that's, you know, really the whole reason why I don't like having big ships and big crews and stuff like that. Because if I'm taking care of everything else and all I've got to do is make sure the guys are having fun, I don't want to bog myself down with all the little nuances of all these different characters and their personalities and so on and so forth. So, but otherwise, another wonderful small ship, one that's not in the canon, so it's a little different ship to see, something that's not typically thrown out there. And here we are. As always, thank you for visiting. Thanks for stopping by and listening to me, finding kind of unique ships that are out there. Hope you're having a wonderful day, and we'll see you in the next video.